Welcome back to the Portal Bonanza podcast, brought to you by Hoop Scoop Media. We are back for another podcast after a few days, and we have a lot to talk about in the portal. A lot of stuff happening. Commitments have been flying off the board lately. We have tons of commits to talk about. So, Kyle, any first thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the commitments. Really good pickups for teams. And yes, another good batch of players over the last couple days. So excited to get into it.
Yeah. So, first of all, make sure to follow us on all the social media platforms at Hoop Scoop Media on Instagram, Twitter. Okay, you're back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
open up the list.
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to us on all those platforms. That would be much appreciated. Yeah, it makes the podcast run. So, yeah, let's get into our commitments. The first one is Miles Rice has committed to Indiana. Washington State guard was a freshman of the year to Pac-12 All Conference in his third season after taking a pretty crazy journey to get there after redshirting as a freshman, then being diagnosed with cancer last year. Got past that, and then yeah. Any thoughts on that one?
Great pickup. I like the direction Indiana's going in. I just think they need a little more shooting. But they're definitely making progress. They're getting good shot creating guards, getting unselfish guards. Did Carlisle commit yet? Or
Not yet. That's rumored to maybe happen now.
yeah, I know he's crystal ball there, but we'll have to see. I know there's
Yes.
other competition for him. So yeah, if they get him, he's probably not an amazing off ball player either, but he's another great shot creator, something he didn't have last year at all. So, definitely making progress. I like the kind of players we're targeting.
Yes, not a great shooter, but definitely gives him a really good point guard. Gives you a lot there. Kylan Boswell, another point guard committed to the Big Ten. Really young player, but still a sophomore. I think he's still like 18, which is crazy. But yeah, what do we think about this one?
Great pickup by Illinois. I think he
Yeah.
fits their system like a glove. Another fast-paced offense. Should be a really smooth transition for him from Tommy Lloyd's offense to the pace of what Brad Underwood's been playing at the last couple of years. So
Yes, no shocker that he went to Illinois, being from Champaign, but yeah, very good pickup. Had some ups and downs this season, but was a starting point guard in a really good team. Definitely had his moments. Texas, they got a big portal haul yesterday. They got three guys to be exact. Two of them were teammates in Jason Kent and Julian Larry from Indiana State. I do have some worries about those guys because, as I mentioned on the previous podcast, I'm a little worried about some of these Indiana State guys because Schertz's system was just so good, really got looks for everyone, got them really good quality shots. I'm not sure how to look at Texas. I think that could
I was
maybe not be the
surprised
same.
that Texas went after them. Like I guess Terry and his assistants really saw things in those guys that they liked. Definitely shocked they went after Indiana State guys, but I think Larry is going to really work because he's a really good off ball player. Doesn't need the ball in his hands. I'm not sure how Jason Kent's going to work at this level. Definitely a little more concerned about him, but I mean I see why they went after them. They're
I
both
mean,
great.
still good commitments. Just there
Yeah,
are some questions that could be had there, but yeah, Larry is actually from Texas, so that sort of makes sense there. And then maybe they could have been a package deal or something. But the other guy they got was Tremont Mark, coming from Arkansas, coming back to state of Texas after playing a few years at Houston. And this is another one that I really like. Mark was really good this year at Arkansas after having his ups and downs when he was playing for Houston, offensively at least. He's still very good defensively, and it gives you a lot. Texas building a solid roster, despite I don't love their coach to execute and give them the fullest potential, but
the
they have
thing
a
I
solid
like
roster.
about Tremont Mark is if he ended up with a team like this. is regression possible? He could take a lot of bad shots at times. He hit a lot of those bad shots this year. So like, he's not gonna get a hard time from, people, but he's probably gonna be still taking those tough quality of shots in the Big 12. I could see some regression. I
Yeah, I
like the
mean,
eight
that
this
that
year,
could happen.
but I could see an efficiency drop for sure.
Yes. Another Big 12 school getting a commitment. I guess Texas isn't in the Big 12, they're in the SEC, but
Right,
so he's
that's
staying in the SEC. But yeah, Frankie Collins off to TCU. I think this is a good stylistic pickup. Kind of fits their mold of what they've been doing. Really solid defensive guard. Can get you some stuff on offense. Good facilitator, and don't really have any complaints about this pickup.
no, yeah, solid fit. Really good ball pressure defender.
Yes.
Good fit in what Dixon likes to do. So
SEC school getting guard. There was a few of them, but one of them was JP Pegues committing to Auburn. Um, yeah, really gives him a lot of offensive potential. A lot of really good shooter, really good facilitator, and I think is a good fit with the Auburn system.
yeah, definitely, yeah, kind of have to see how he fits with Bruce and how he likes to operate with his guards. But yeah, no, he's a really good facilitator. So if they want to run inside out again, which they definitely did a good bit of, I think it'll really work with a good passer like Pegues. So
Yes, Milo Zuzan from Oklahoma. He is committed to Houston. I really like this pick. Gives him a good replacement for Shed. Can really be a good facilitator. Has shown flashes of scoring and shooting in the past. And yeah, any thoughts about this one?
good, yeah, really good fit. Definitely should translate there really easily. So
Yes, another pickup, Georgetown. They finally are getting some guys. One of them, or the only one so far at least, is Micah Peavy from TCU. I really like this pickup. I really like Peavy anywhere in the country, honestly, because of what he can bring. Really athletic, gives you really good defense, can facilitate a little bit for his size, can score a little bit, but his defensive abilities, his athletic abilities will get you minutes anywhere.
Georgetown lacked anyone like that this year. On the perimeter, someone who's just gonna
Mm,
be a pest on defense. You know, be really hard nosed. The fact that Cooley's first get is a guy like that is showing you he's going in a completely different direction this year as far as building a roster. I hope. And
yes.
rumors have Malik Mack might be next, so that would be a
Yes, that
really,
is
really
what the crystal ball action is showing. Another Oklahoma guard making his decision, Javian McCollum, headed to Georgia Tech. Damon Stoudemire is really having some good success on the recruiting trail. I think it's just a matter of time before Georgia Tech becomes a consistent tournament team, as long as he's there, which might not be forever. But yeah, McCollum really had a good season at Oklahoma, translated up very nicely from Siena, where there were some questions to be had. So. Any thoughts about that one?
bit surprising. I thought they would target Miles Rice a bit more, and I bet they did.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
Indiana's IL program is very good. Um, so they probably lost a bidding war to him and
Yes.
Carl, who are both from Atlanta.
Hmm.
But yeah, you just can't really compete with NIL with them. So they probably
Yeah.
had to
McCollum
settle
is a
for.
nice pickup though, still.
And Javion's not a bad sell. I think he'll be good under Damon.
I mean,
I
starting caliber, high major point guard. So
they do have him and Nathan George now. They lost Kapari to the portal, which I'm
yeah,
upset about.
he's not that good, I don't think. But
Yeah, high ceiling
um,
guy.
yes, for sure, for sure. Um,
He's been amazing this year, but yeah, they have amazing players coming in, so he probably wouldn't have
yes,
starting role. So I get
yes.
it.
Very good recruiter, Damon Stoudemire's shaped into. No surprise there. But yeah, Jordan Sears, UT Martin guard, he is committed to LSU. I don't know that Jalen Cook is coming back. It looks like he's might not and just go pro. So
Yeah.
Sears would step
I,
into that point guard role. It's honestly a lot like Jalen Cook, even though Cook was hurt like half the year, didn't play. But yeah, Sears can score, he can shoot, he can run an
Cook
offense. He
definitely is better size too, but I see what you're saying.
yeah, Sears a little bit bigger, but yes, good fit, can really do a lot of things offensively as the point guard. Another SEC school getting a guy, Chris Youngblood, returning home to Alabama from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as we mentioned on our last podcast. So, not a shocker. He is committed to Alabama and a very good fit. He can really give you a lot offense, can really do it all. Is fits right in. Good replacement because they recently lost Rylan Griffin. I think it's just basically you're getting about the same thing that you would have got out of Griffin next year. And yeah,
He is the perfect Rylan Griffin replacement. They have a lot in common. Youngblood is a high level defender, really strong,
hmm
um,
yes,
great shot creator,
can really shoot. Yeah.
really efficient. I absolutely love the direction Nate Oates is going in this year. Um,
hmm
Nate Oates stock is at an all time high for me right
Yes,
now.
absolutely. Yeah, another SEC school, Mikhail Brown Jones, has committed to Ole Miss. Gives Chris Beard a solid 4-5. Really broke out this year at UNC Greensboro. Yeah, can really rebound, can really score from inside. Had some huge games this season. So yeah,
Great
and
fit,
any
physicality, his toughness, great defender. Should really fit in with them.
yes. Tyler Perkins, he is off to Villanova, the Penn freshman guard. Obviously, you're wearing a Villanova shirt right now. So what are your takeaways?
I mean, I like Perkins. I just don't maybe like him this year. I think he's a project guard.
But if you take him this year,
Um,
then it's
so I
probably
know
less money that you have to spend on him instead of next year when he averages like 18 a game or whatever.
it's true. I think it's a project guard, and you don't see a lot of these kind of players. But yeah, he was a bit of a shot chucker, but on a bad
Yeah,
team.
and he was a freshman too, so like,
I just think
uh,
he's very one dimensional right now, especially going up to the Big East. He's got to work on his defense a lot. Um,
yeah,
Definitely needs to improve his facilitating. That's why I
yeah,
think
not really much of a point guard.
he's very one dimensional right now. But in 2 years, I think he's going to be a great player. I
Yeah,
do.
should be a good wing guard
I just
in
Villanova
time.
around him. He better not be the best player.
Well, right now he's the only guy they've gotten from the portal, I believe. SEC schools are getting everyone. Florida got Sam Alexis. Really good move, I think, here. He's a good Tyree Samuel replacement. I think he's pretty mobile for his size, really good defender, really good rebounder, plays with a lot of energy. Just can't really complain at all about this pickup. Let's see. Zed Key committed this morning to Dayton from Ohio State. I really like this fit, honestly. Dayton, assuming Holmes doesn't come back, which I wouldn't assume he would, although it's not completely out of the question, he gives him another guy that honestly I think can be like a go-to guy at the mid plus level. Was definitely not even close to what Holmes gave you, but definitely an all conference guy, an A10. Really good inside score and should be not like a super disadvantage athletically in a conference like the A10.
Yeah, I was kind of low on him in the portal, but like he found the perfect home. What they did with Nate Santos this year is immediately what came to my mind.
Hmm.
Powerful guy who lost his way at Pitt. Absolutely this year. Fantastic year. And Zach,
Yes.
2 to 3 years ago was a very good bona fide scorer.
Hmm.
100% see that again at the mid plus. 100%. So
Yes.
I love
Bashir
this.
Jihad from Ball State. He is committed to Arizona State. I really don't have too many thoughts on this one. Just like he's a good player, but
Right.
Arizona State roster is looking rough right now.
definitely the most random commitment.
Yeah, like I just saw it and I was like, okay. Like I don't have any thoughts about it, but he's a good player.
He is.
He's proven he can play at a high major level. We'll see what Arizona State. We'll see how that goes. Patrick McCaffrey has committed to Butler from Iowa. Son of Fran McCaffrey is playing his last year of college under Thad Matta instead. Um, I mean, he wasn't great this year. He was actually not that good at times, but I think he gives you a lot of size. Can play on the wing for a little bit, and for Butler, like a school that doesn't have a ton of NIL money necessarily, this is a pickup that I think can really be good for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Last night, Drake point guard Connor Enright committed to DePaul, going home from the Chicago area. So coming back to Chicago to go to DePaul. And I'm a big Enright guy. I think this is
Fuck, been it
nice.
hell. Holman is just cooking with gasoline, man. Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yes, Enright's a guy that
Gotta
his
be winning.
box his box score numbers aren't like crazy. He doesn't average a ton of points, but
Winning
he's a
player.
great defender, great defender. He's a pretty good, really good catch and shoot guy when he decides to do that. Good point guard. Really gives a
We were
ton of
big on him
energy and hustle.
season, and he won me over. Watching him, I 100% see why you fell in love with him. He's
Absolutely. He's
the
great.
coach's dream. High energy defender. He caught fire that one game in the Missouri Valley tournament from three, catch and shoot.
Yeah, he's like a 95th percentile catch and shoot guy. So
Yeah,
even though he's
honestly,
not like a high volume shooter, he'll make
got to
them.
do more. Nah, he's a winning player at any.
Hmm.
He's one of those point guards.
Yes. Boston College got a few guys. They got Chad Venning, St. Bonaventure Big, and Josh Beadle, Clemson guard. Nothing crazy about either of those guys. Just guys that you kind of have to take if you're Boston College. Another school that's kind of a disadvantage. I doubt they have a ton of NIL, don't have a ton of success, and two guys that are somewhat capable high major players. And
They
yeah,
fit Earl Grant's system really well. Defense first guys. That's what Earl Grant is. Definitely a defensive coach.
yeah.
So
I know.
definitely
I don't
fits the
know if Grant was at Charleston when Beetle was in high school, but I know they were really recruiting him hard back then.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that might have been Kelsey, but at that
That's
time, but yeah.
really good pickup.
Yeah, but Memphis, their AAC All-Star team gets bigger with the added Colby Rogers from Wichita State. They were not lying. They really are getting all like the star players from inside the conference, but Rogers can really shoot, can really put up some points, and we'll see how Memphis ends up fitting as a team. But Rogers is a really good player.
Yeah. Hope the same thing doesn't happen to Colby Rogers happened to his teammate that entered the portal and he just loses all of his efficiency when he goes to Memphis.
Yeah,
I'm
that did happen.
all
That did
so
it did happen, but yeah, I think Rogers. I think he's going to be pretty. I mean, he can shoot. He can really shoot.
mm,
And I don't think that's going to change much. Utah got Mason Madsen from Boston College to team up with his brother Gabe Madsen. Kind of gives you the same thing as his brother. Honestly, can really shoot it. And that's kind of what he gives you. But cool to see them back reunited
uh,
after they.
Mason's very limited. But
Yeah, Gabe's definitely the better of the two. But yeah, both started out Cincinnati, and both will finish their careers out at Utah. Um, Benny Williams, he resurfaced at UCF, has potential, has a lot of concerns though.
yeah, off the court,
UCF is a perfect school that takes him. Like they took like Mikey Williams. Like they're just throwing some chances, and he could be
yeah,
good, but
yeah, have to. Yeah. Beating the Big
he
12.
yeah, I mean he's athletic enough to commit this to compete at this level, and so yeah. Dayton Albury from Queens committed to Utah State. Good pickup for Jared Calhoun. I think they still have a lot of spots to fill, so this is a solid pickup, solid mid plus caliber player. Bob Pettiford committed to High Point. I like this one.
Mm.
I've been a big Pettiford guy. They have really fun offense there at High Point with Allen Huss. Um, I think he's a guy that could really break out at that type of level and that type of
That
program.
ECU's offense is weird this year. I
ECU
definitely
was majorly disappointing considering the talent they had in their team.
I think this kind of offense, this fast-paced style, is gonna be really good for Pettiford.
I liked him when I saw him play at
It
Kansas. Like he had his moments.
was. Oh, 100%. I'm with you
He
on
was
that.
like hurt a lot too, but like when he played, he was pretty good, I think.
He's impactful.
Great, yeah. Greg Gordon from Iona commit to UAB. Good fit for UAB. Gives him a lot of or kind of what their model has been on. Gives him a lot of like athleticism. Can get to the rim. Um, I guess we'll see how the pieces all fit together, but yes. Stephon Swinton commit to UC Santa Barbara. UC Santa Barbara. They have been known to get some pretty good transfers, and Swenson is the latest. I think we both are pretty in on Swenson. Really, really tough point guard, can force his way places, can facilitate. Really good, actually. So, yes. And Charleston, they had a weekend. They got three players, and they were all pretty good pickups. One name is Darren Boyd, who's from Lipscomb, ultra efficient. We like this one. Coming off an ACL tear, so we will see if he is ready for the opener of the season, but he should be at least available for most of the season. I wonder if that'll set him back at all or not. Lazar Djokovic, Xavier freshman, who honestly was pretty decent, was up and down, was playing a lot towards the end of the season, really good internationally. Um, Xavier ties from Chris Mack seem to be carrying over, and Jorge Sirčić, a St. Louis freshman, didn't do a ton, but showed some shooting abilities and lower volume. So, and any takeaways, Chris Mack had quite a weekend.
Great pickups. I even like Djokovic. He had a lot of expectations coming in. I think
Yeah, and that was sort of unfair because Xavier
it
did
was,
lose Fremantle and Hunter for this season. And like, well, guess we're gonna have to start this guy. But
and they still
I,
had it on. So
yeah,
yeah, I think
yeah,
this is a good fit for him. I think he's a pretty good player, and he should
yeah.
at this
Just
level.
gonna just gonna roll through the rest. There's a lot of commitments happen this weekend. Al Oglesby from Stetson, another Stetson guy off the board. Two Middle Tennessee, really good off-ball shooter. Cody Head from Lipscomb came into Arkansas State. Brian Hodgson, the rich get richer, and he is building one of the best mid-major programs in at least on the recruiting trail. He's one of the best major recruiters in the country. I mean, he was one of the best high major recruiters in the country, but that is carrying over. He's getting guys that are really good for his level. Murray State got a few guys. They got Terrence Harcum, Appalachian State guard, average double digits there, and Kylan Milton put up some big numbers at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and I think was decently efficient. We'll see how he translates from the SWAC up to the Missouri Valley. AJ McGinnis from Lipscomb, he has committed to Wichita State. Gives him some shooting, gives him a guy who can definitely compete at that level. I believe it's first pickup for the Shockers this offseason. Not 100% sure on that. Jan Vide from UCLA, he is committed to Loyola Marymount. One of the UCLA freshmen that kind of disappointed, but has shown some flashes internationally. Definitely a lot to work with there over the years. Jalen Young from Memphis has committed to Vermont. I honestly really like this one. Vermont, they over the years they've had guys that are just a level above the America East in terms of physicality, athleticism. Young definitely adds to that group of players. Um, Logan Duncombe from Xavier, sort of from Xavier. He is committed to Winthrop. He was not on the team this year at Xavier after committing there from Indiana. So we don't really know what we're getting. Didn't do much in Indiana, but high major guy, 4-star in high school. So we'll see what Winthrop can get out of him. Jonathan Lamoth from Maryland. He is committed to North Carolina A&T. I love this pickup. This is a great pickup for North Carolina A&T. He was like a 4-star freshman last year. I think he still has the chance to be good. So they
I
got
think
a good one.
yeah, he probably got a lot better with this shot chucker hitting the portal. So
Yeah. He was their only Glasper was their only guy that could do anything though offensively.
I'm very
I actually kind of like him at the right level. Akron got a few guys. North Carolina big man James Okonkwo and West Virginia guard Seth Wilson. They both played together on West Virginia for a few years. Really good pickups for Akron. Wilson can really shoot, and Okonkwo can be a pretty serviceable big man. He was good rim
Both good
protector.
defense, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I believe so.
Fits that
He
culture.
yes, good pickups there. Good to secure both of them on their visit. Peter Carey from Syracuse committed to Siena. Dorian Finisher from Kansas State has committed to Sam Houston State. Zemu
Mhm.
Okeji from Dayton has committed to Jacksonville. Gives him some athleticism there. Lee Garrington from Idaho State has committed to Seattle. Good pickup from Seattle up there, staying in that same region. Jalen Jones, Tennessee State freshman, put up some solid numbers this year, like 9 points a game. Good for a freshman. He has committed to Oakland. Wisconsin guard Isaac Lindsey, kind of a deeper rotation player. He has committed to South Dakota State. Josh Dunuo from Columbia has committed to UMBC. Makai Gray from NJIT has committed to UMass Lowell. Cruz Davis from St. John's has committed to Hofstra. I really like that one, by the way. Really like
Yeah,
Cruz Davis.
great fit.
I think he still has 3 years left of eligibility because he didn't play this year at St. John's. I believe he was hurt, but yeah, really like that one. Jarvis Moss from Davidson has committed to Radford. Former high major guy there. Michael Duax from Northern Iowa committed to Florida Gulf Coast. Had disappointed there this year because with Northern Iowa's logjam in their guards, wings, but Florida Gulf Coast, he was really good as a freshman last year, so good pickup. A
I
few
already think
D2,
we're gonna disappoint this year, man. That's
yeah,
a cool
for
pick. Man.
yes. Few D2 guys off the board. Obi Agbim for Fort Lewis has committed to Wyoming, following the path of Aquel Cott, his teammate who committed to Wyoming last year. Continuing that pipeline there. And St. Thomas Aquinas transfer James Patterson has committed to Iona. Not a super shocker considering Tobin Anderson was formerly the coach at Iona, but Patterson is a really good pickup at that level. And Tobin Anderson has shown that he really has the ability to recruit. A few withdrawals from the portal. Maxime Reynaud from Stanford has reversed his course. He is going back to Stanford for his last year of eligibility. Right now, he's like the only competent player on the team. So at least Kyle Smith has one really good player to work with. We'll see if he gets anyone else. Yeah, it's hard to get guys into Stanford. Like you can't really like if any transfers can get into Stanford, like Kyle Smith has to be all over them because they don't have many options. I really like this next one though. Gibson Jimerson has withdrawn from the portal and is returning to St. Louis to play under Josh Scherz. Jimerson and Josh Scherz offense is going to be elite.
Yeah, okay. And especially like Gibson's been like one of the top options these last couple of years, and this is not him. Like,
Yeah, I mean he's like a shooter, score a little
yeah,
bit,
he
but
hit back role this year. Kind of like you know what? Kind of how Jameson Battle fell into his role this year as a stretch,
yes.
as a shooter.
Yeah,
Obviously, he's
they're
way more
different players, but same kind of role. I definitely get
same
what you're
time.
saying there. I
Um,
definitely get what you're saying. But yeah,
they
Jimerson's
both,
gonna be so good with shirts. That's
yeah,
a
for sure.
perfect fit. And then Anthony Pritchard from Central Michigan is returning to the Chippewas. Really good defensive player, really good facilitator. Yeah, nothing crazy there, but gives them a good backcourt. But they got Hetty from Bethune Cookman last week. A few cut lists. Keyshawn Hall cut his list down to USC, Arkansas, UCF, and Michigan State. I think USC makes the most sense here.
Yeah, I think they're the favorite. I think from what I've heard, some of the other schools don't even have interest. So,
Yeah. I don't know if that this is true at all, but I heard Arkansas wasn't even like recruiting him like now. Like it must was, but
well, he really isn't either. So, I've heard both. But
I don't know. USC would be good though. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm not sure that Calipari is recruiting him. But yeah. Anyway, Colby King, Tulane transfer, cut his list down to South Carolina, Utah, Dayton, Michigan, and Butler. Um, I don't really know what to think
no,
about
weird.
a
Yeah.
fit.
Um,
Maybe like Dayton or Butler or
I don't think he'd get into Michigan. So,
Tulane's a really good school though.
is it? I haven't heard.
Tulane is a good school. Tulane is like a really good academic school.
I actually did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. So
Maybe
maybe he could. Maybe he could. He's a
I think
two-time transfer
Dayton,
though, so
Dayton does get him. I'm not gonna lie. Buying some Dayton stock. That would
yes.
be worth it. Um,
Yes. Butler would also make sense because as I mentioned, like they're not a good
uh,
NIL school. There's
uh,
over evaluating everyone, and I mean King was a Big East recruit 2 years ago, so there's
yeah.
a potential there. And then Jazz Gardner, last cut list, he's cut his list down to Boise State, Iona, Loyola Marymount, and St. Joseph's. Um, Loyola Marymount seems like a where is he? I don't know where he's from. Loyola Marymount seems like a
I thought
place
he'd get
like
better, but or maybe he just wants to play in a mid plus. But I would, man, St. Joe's.
let me check where he's from. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. He's from California. Loyola Marymount, I think that would be my pick. It's regional. They've taken a bunch of high major guys in the past. I think that would be the most ideal. But yeah, do we want to go into our top 15 transfers the of the past few days?
We'll move pretty quick through these 15.
Yes. And any honorable mentions before we get going? I have a few.
Not
All right. So the few honorable mentions, let me get this sorted out. Yeah. Davin Cosby is one of mine from Alabama. Was a freshman this year, didn't do a ton. I think he still has some potential. Jalen Blake's another honorable mentions. Definitely could have added my list, but doesn't do a ton offensively. Really good defensive piece, playing at Duke the past few years. Not sure. Like he's a guy that I'm not sure he's really going to give you much offensively anywhere, but he is a very good defender. Frederick King, another guy. Big man from Creighton. Wasn't that good this year, but I do like King. I think he could be good at a mid plus for sure. So those are just a few guys I had just outside my list. So do you want to start the 15?
sure. 15, I got Colorado State transfer Kyle Evans,
Okay.
freshman.
I did not put him on there, but I definitely see the potential there. There's some stuff that you can unlock with
He was
Evans.
behind a lot of bigs this year that were really productive offensively, even though he definitely gave you a lot of.
Wasn't he hurt this year? Did he even play?
He played a little bit in the middle of the year, I think. Um, then he probably got hurt. I don't know.
I'm not. Yeah, I guess he played a few games, but I feel like he got hurt one of these years. But yeah, he hasn't shown you a ton, but I think can be a pretty good defensive big. Be like a lob threat type of guy. In the right system. Interested to see like what type of school wants him. Maybe like a low major. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, number 15, I have Jaquan Walton. He's pretty skilled, but there are more concerns about him than reasons to take him, I think. He was just really inefficient this year after being super efficient last year. Wasn't really a good shooter, didn't really give you a ton.
maybe it was the Memphis effect.
Yeah. And also he's been to so many different schools that at some point like this is a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a guy that can compete at the high major level and have a decent role. I just wouldn't be thrilled over taking him.
Yeah, I get that for sure.
Yeah, so 14.
14, I got Micah Parrish. Not someone
Really,
I love.
I had him at 3. I like Parrish. I think he just gives you so much defensively, versatile, has shown offensive flashes here and there.
Um, yeah, offensively, he just is not good at all.
I wouldn't say he's not good at all. He's been up and down, but I don't think he's like there are some players that are like offensive negatives. They're just like terrible. And I don't think Parrish is one of those guys.
I would lean more towards negative. Like off
I
the
mean, he's not
dribble,
like a huge
not great.
positive, but like he not super efficient, but he can shoot it a little bit. Has been like up and
He's
down over the year. Like he doesn't really turn it over. He actually did really get not turning it over this year. Can get to the rim. Like I don't love him offensively, but I think it's like
But
serviceable enough.
you know what you're getting out of him, but he's a
Yeah, but
very feeling kind of guy, and I just don't like players like that personally. So,
he's really good defensively though.
yeah, of course, that's his calling card.
Really versatile. But yeah, I'm much higher on Parrish. But yeah, I am at three. Um, really like that one. Number 14, I had a guy that I know you mentioned way back when you like him. I had Rokas Josic from LaSalle. He's a really skilled big. Um, Still
He
has
had a good.
2 years left.
Yeah.
So did you have him on your list?
Oh, of course, he's higher up.
Yeah.
I think we'll do better in AMR
Yeah, he's efficient, good
prolific
rebounder.
system. Um,
Um, yeah. But yeah,
because I think he's
where did
modern
you
big.
have him?
I had him at 6. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So who did you have at 13 then?
I had Glasper at 13.
I had him at 11. Like
High
North
profile
Carolina.
scorer. Didn't watch a lot of NCAA because they're on Flow Hoop. Um,
Yeah, that's
so a lot of Colonial games I just couldn't catch. So yeah, I think I don't really know a ton about him, but 6'2", assume he plays much defense. So I'm a bit worried how
yeah.
he treats mid plus, I'd say, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, North Carolina A&T was pretty bad. I mean, they're actually really bad. But like he could really score the ball. Like he put up some big time scoring numbers this year.
35% a bad
Really was
team.
able to get to the
So
rim. Yeah, the efficiency wasn't great, but like he was also taking so many shots and
yeah,
like was still getting to the line. Yeah, could really get to the line. Wasn't super efficient, but was only a sophomore too, so still was relatively young.
yep.
Yeah, I had him at 11. I think there's definitely some appeal there, but I just wonder how we'll look at a different team, different level. But yeah, there's some appeal to him for sure. 20-point score. There's not a ton of those out there. So who'd you have? Let's see. Yeah, that was your 13. At 13, I had Dante Allen from Western Kentucky. Really good shooter, gives you some good size. Former high major guy at Kentucky. Um, yeah, I mean, he shot the ball really well this season. Not a huge usage guy, but has had his moments here and there.
Yeah, if he was a little more high usage, I'd probably put him on here, but I left him off.
Yeah, he has his games for sure, but yes, I think he can be.
This is
I
his
think
last
he's like
year, right?
what?
This is his last year too, right?
Yes, it'll be his 5th year. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, I think he's like a plug and play guy. Just
Yeah.
give you some shooting, gives you some pretty good size in the wing. So, yeah, I had him at 13.
Yeah, at 12, I got Elisha Hutchins Everett, someone I still
Okay,
like.
he
Um,
was off my list, but he was on my
but
long list.
yeah, he definitely didn't get a ton of minutes. He played better as the season went on. I think
Yeah.
he,
Bediako really like stepped up and it was kind of like them two like fighting for the role, like
yeah,
sharing minutes and like Bediako was actually really good. So
he was, yeah. So, he's got a year left too, so I didn't put him as high as I wanted to because I do actually like him. He's a really good free throw shooter too for his size. I think he's a pretty good player. Definitely
yeah,
can't go.
yes. Number 12, I have a guy that I like last year in the portal. That is Bryant Selbange from Arizona State. Not like it doesn't give you like a lot, but not like a high usage guy, but is pretty efficient from around the rim, good rebounder, tough, physical, solid defensively. Not like a rim protector, but I think he's still a good defensive player. And yeah, um, he's always been a guy that has decently high efficiency, considering he's not like even though he's not like a big like usage guy and um hasn't really played on good teams, but I think he is a guy that can make an impact winning somewhere.
Yeah, he's probably someone I should have included, but at the
Yeah.
same, get behind not including him because he's pretty low
Yeah.
usage. So, yeah, no, he's one of the Arizona State transfers that could be good somewhere else.
Hmm. So who do
Then
you have at, yeah,
at
11?
11,
Yes.
I have Big Z. Not really a Big Z
I
fan.
had him at 7. I think he should be higher than 11. I
I
mean,
think defensively he's awful. I just got to put it the way it is. He
I
got
mean,
target pick and rolls at the rim. Um,
he's a good rim protector. Like he's so long at least.
I
So
guess
even,
mobile, like that's to kind of be a good rim protector, especially nowadays. Like you got to get to the help side. You got to move. Like if you're
I mean,
not
he's
moving,
pretty mobile. Like I'm not wouldn't say he's like super quick, but he's not like he can run the court really well.
yeah, I don't know. I think he was a big part of Kentucky's defensive problems.
Yeah, I mean,
When he was
yeah,
on the court, um, not the number one reason they were bad defensively, but like he's definitely kind of up there.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I
and then
mean,
also
there were a lot of
he was,
factors.
um, he could be. I wonder where his interest is. I have to see fit
I
wise for him.
mean, I assume he'd either go to Arkansas or back to Kentucky.
Okay,
I
yeah.
doubt he would go anywhere else. Yeah, I think he has a lot of potential. Um, at least the potential. I don't know what it's all gonna look like, but he had some flashes. He had some games where he did absolutely nothing, and he had some games where he was doing everything on the court. So we'll
Hmm.
see. We'll see if he can be better. And I think next year, I mean, you won't have to sit out the first half of the year. So
Sure.
yeah, I had him at 7. Could have moved him even higher, but there's still some things that I don't love about him. But yeah, number 11, I had Glasper.
Okay. Number 10's where I had Walton.
Okay, number 10, I had RJ Godfrey from Clemson. Um, pretty solid, like 4 option. Pretty efficient, good defender, solid rebounder, just kind of very like solid power forward. That's what I would
Yeah, I
say.
think he's been beat all the time. I thought he was in here last week, so I left him off. But he would have been on my list around here.
No, I think he just entered now.
Yeah, he would have been probably in the 7 to 10 range for me. I like Godfrey. He's good on the
Okay.
glass defensively.
Okay.
He's very versatile. Good player.
Yes.
And number 9 is where I had been Loicton from UC
Okay.
Irvine.
I had him at 8. So
Uh,
he's
Wanted to have him higher, but then I looked at his season and he was pretty disappointing compared to last year.
yeah, I mean, he is
48% around
just
him compared to 55 from last year. It's a pretty big step down. Not a huge usage guy,
yeah.
but I
He's a high usage guy. He just doesn't play a ton of minutes. But he
yeah,
is whenever
Irvine,
he's on the court,
UC
UC
Irvine,
Irvine was so much better.
they were deep this year.
Yeah,
Didn't
and he's
have
also not a guy that's gonna like. He's not really a guy that's capable of playing like a ton of minutes a game, but
his
I, I
mobility.
s- I still think he's. I mean, I think he can play like 15 minutes a game anywhere in the country. UC Irvine was just so much better whenever he was playing. He's a big guy, can protect the rim.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he can play anywhere, and he had some pretty good games versus high major teams. Like he had 19 versus USC, he had 13 in his last game of the season at NIT against Utah. So I think there's a lot to like there. I think he can fit nearly anywhere in the country. He's huge, good skill, not like an overly physical big, but has some nice post moves, I would say.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, number 9 knows where I had Jared Coleman Jones from Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee a disappointing year. Obviously, did not help that Cam Weston got hurt like the first game of the year, second game of the year, whatever. But Coleman Jones is very skilled, very pretty good physicality, former high major guy starting out at Northwestern. So I think there's a lot do you like from him.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like that. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna slot in Godfrey at because I had just realized I had 14 players on my list and not 15. So made a late list. So that's what happens.
That That
So
sometimes
got
happens.
three, I'm gonna slide in there, and then at the spot above him we're at eight now, right?
Yeah.
So eight is where I had Frederick King.
Okay. Okay.
I like Frederick King. I think he's behind, one of the best big men in the country, and Ryan Cockburn.
Yeah, he was that was
I think he's
part of an issue.
really, I think he's efficient around the rim, and I think those two things are things
Yeah.
that could like,
Yeah, he's a really good rebounder, really good efficiency around the rim, but I think
So
he's definitely a mid plus guy.
yeah, okay. I mean, I could see that.
Yeah,
Depended. He's starting to become a lot of good bigs in the portal. So
yeah.
at
Well,
least,
bigs are desired, so every big is getting a bag.
yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, number 8 is where I had looked in.
Okay, is actually where I had Josius.
Okay, okay, and then 7 I had Big Z. Savannah, yes. So who'd you have at 6 then?
Uh, okay, no, Josius was at six. Yeah,
Yeah.
there.
So who'd you have
Um,
at 7 then?
so seven's where I had King. Eight was where I had Godfrey. Oh, that's
Okay, okay, okay. So, okay, so you had Josh at 6 then.
who'd you have at six?
So at 6 I had Richie Saunders
Okay.
from BYU. Few good BYU guys, and I mean he's been pretty good. He's really good scorer, can get to the rim. Not like a huge shooter, but he can
Yeah,
shoot it.
he
But
sold very hard against Duquesne. Very. But
he not a
I
great game from him.
I didn't have that effect on my ranking. I actually
Yeah,
have him
no,
very
he's really good offensively, as was
I
like the whole BYU team.
or
But
um, very high on him.
yes,
Uh, so at five, I downhaul.
okay,
Um,
I had down 5 as well.
Low usage player. I think he needs to be more aggressive, honestly. Um,
Yeah,
but I
good point guard option though. Really had a good year
wanted
this year.
out this year, but I guess it's just not really who he is entirely. Maybe it could happen. But he's going to be under Mark Pope again.
Maybe. I saw an interest list today from him, and it was like there were schools on it.
You don't think he goes against Kentucky?
I mean, I don't think he doesn't go to Kentucky, but like there was an interest list posted today
Okay.
of like a bunch of different schools. So
Okay. Interesting. I would actually love to see him somewhere else, as like a top option, see if he's capable of that. But who
yeah,
knows?
I don't think you really want Dallin Hall as a top option. I
That's
think he
true.
just is what he is. He's a really good point guard, can score a little bit, but definitely more of a facilitator.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so number 5, yeah, I'd Hall there as well.
Fours where I had Saunders.
All right, 4, I had the third BYU guy. I had Ali Khalifa. He is the best passing big man in the country. So I
Uh,
mean, whenever you're the best in the country at something, you're gonna be desired, and that's why I have him here. Doesn't like give you a ton.
he goes to
He's,
Kentucky though. Like, oh gosh, dude, he's gonna get destroyed. I think with the athleticism in the SEC and
yeah, I
uh,
mean, he,
defensively. Uh, Offensively, he's going to be overwhelmed. I mean,
offensively, he's elite though. He's the best passing big man in the country.
yeah, but then he shoots 38% as a big.
I mean, he doesn't really shoot it though. Like,
Exactly.
and
Like,
like
look,
most of his shots are from 3.
here's the thing. Like, cool, he can pass, but it's the only thing he can do.
I mean,
um,
he can stretch the floor a little bit.
I
He's a
don't know. I
good
think Neil Quinn is an argument for being the best passer
Yeah, I
big.
mean, there's an argument there, but they're clearly 1 and 2, whichever
Um,
way you want to do that.
he's just too one dimensional for me to. I didn't even have him on the list. Like, I
That's
do not.
that's that's crazy. I can't get with that one.
Um, no, we saw against Duquesne.
Okay, he was hurt and he was also fasting.
Yeah, but then it's funny on the BYU page, like praising him for fasting and acting like he was playing well. Every game he fasted, he did terrible.
Yeah.
um, So at number three, I got somebody who actually has a high ceiling, somebody who I think could be a pro in the right spot, and that's Tafari Gapari.
Okay.
I saw flashes from him. I was at the Penn State game where he played fantastic in that game. He played fantastic in a couple other games. He was good in the Diamond Head as well. I think there's a lot here. He's got great size, great athleticism, has some shot creation ability. A lot of untapped potential here. I think he was just, I don't know, maybe not high enough on the scoring pecking ladder. Maybe he goes to a mid plus and is really good there. That could be a really good move for him. Because I think he's a real talent. I do. So
Yeah, I mean, you did watch his best game of the season, so
I do.
that
He has some
that
other good
did
ones.
that was by far his best game now. But I mean, it was still a really good game. But I don't know, he wasn't that good. He was pretty inefficient, really inefficient. He should stop shooting threes, but I mean, he
Yeah,
definitely
I
has
don't know why
potential.
he takes that many threes, but
He shot like 16%, which
oh,
is bad. But yeah,
yeah,
every time Gapari is brung up, I like to point out the fact he was the first player, to my knowledge, ever to commit to three different schools and three different recruiting classes because he was a George Washington commit in the class of 21 and somehow
hmm,
reclassed all the way down to 2023, committed to DePaul, and then flipped to 2022 and committed to UMass. So
that is something.
that is something. But yeah, he's really athletic, good rim protector, um, lengthy. So yeah, if he can become like playable offensively,
Yeah, you see the offensive skills there. It's
yeah,
the
yes,
efficiency needs to improve.
yes, and it was very bad,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So number two is
um,
where I'm a fan.
yeah, I'd Griffin at two as well, Parrish at three. Number one, believe we both have Jonas Adu.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Tennessee big man was really good. Not so great in the tournament, but he was great all season long. So
Yeah. Got to put him at number one with this list of players, even though
yes,
maybe a really good bigs, he does have a tendency to disappear. But still, I think far and away number one.
yes, I would agree. Elite rim protector, elite rebounder, pretty solid finisher around the rim. Not great, but definitely serviceable enough. Yeah, really, really nice addition to the portal. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, anything else about Edu or anyone else on the list? Yeah, he was really good this year, despite the
But
last few games of the season kind of being bad.
mhm.
But let me let's see if there's else, anyone else that has some potential. Let's see, Dre Fuller, solid player UTSA, nothing crazy there. Wilgins Exacte from Utah, I kind of like. He didn't play at all this year. I think he was hurt, but and didn't wasn't great as a freshman, but saw some minutes.
Mhm.
Should guy that I think can probably compete at the high major level still, even though he was not great as a freshman, still has that potential.
Strong. Yeah.
Yes. Um, let's see. Anyone else? Zach Loveday's back in the portal.
This is not a deep list. Like I struggle
No.
with mentions. A lot of walk-ons, man.
Michael Hogue from St. Peter's is decent.
Okay.
Um, Anyone else? Matty Traore back in the portal. Unsurprisingly, Brennan Lorient for FAU. Backup big man there. Shane Noel didn't really do much at UNLV. Former highly regarded recruit. Zane Meeks is a guy I think could be good in the right place.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's about it. Not a super stacked portal list. The commitments have kind of been the main story the past few days, as opposed to entries. But
Probably
There've already
looking.
been some there've already been some intriguing entries this morning. We'll talk about this in on a later podcast, but like DJ Wagner, Trey Bonham, Dontre Styles, all in the portal or have announced their
You
intent
know,
to enter. So
I DJ Wagner. I know exactly where I want him to go.
where?
We discussed the Georgia Tech thing with him.
Uh,
I think
no, no.
I think
I'd rather not take him at Georgia Tech. I'd rather just not complicate things. They already have a backcourt.
yeah, that's true. Nate George is awesome. Um,
Yeah, I don't think it's worth, and I also
what
think he's probably going to Arkansas, but
the three? No.
I don't know. I think Georgia Tech should stick with what they have. I don't think taking Wagner is much like benefit there. I mean, not that they would even like be in a position to take him or not, but
Yeah, Arkansas is just gonna. He's just gonna be
I mean, if he wants
probably.
to follow Cal, he's going to. Sincere Harris also under the portal this morning. But yeah, we'll talk about those guys on a later on episode of Portal Bonanza. So yeah, we had a lot of commitments today. Appreciate anyone that got through this whole episode. And yeah, if you got through it, make sure to like, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to this on the podcast platforms, make sure to give us 5-star review where that can be done. Make sure to follow our social media accounts at Hoopscoop Media, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Might have already said that, but yeah, just throwing it out there again. Any last words before we close off today's episode of Portal Bonanza, Kyle?
Just keep out on the commitments. It's definitely commitment season. All
Yeah.
these guys been listing on every episode are trimming down their schools, coming down to decisions. It's going to start to be less. Not, I mean, it's still going to be portal season, but it's going to be more commitment season for sure. I mean, we're 1,500 players in the portal now.
Yes. Definitely slowing down. Not like so many entries falling in. If you know you're entered a portal, if you know you're entering, you kind of probably have already done that by now. But
For the most part.
yes, yeah. Yeah, but thanks for listening to this episode of Portal Bonanza and stay tuned for our next episode to release.